You are at work, having a completely ordinary chat with a colleague. Then, within seconds, the temperature in the room drops. Shoulders tighten, eye contact breaks, and suddenly you are both on the defensive. All it took was a tiny exchange. One person asked, "Did you finish the report?" The other replied, "I was in meetings all day." Now you have a rupture. The person asking feels deliberately stonewalled. The person answering feels they gave an honest, straightforward response. In these moments, we usually fall back on a few familiar explanations. We assume the other person is being stubborn, that they are hiding something, or that we are having a genuine disagreement over the facts. We are actually looking at a mechanical glitch in the invisible architecture of how we use language. In 1975, the philosopher of language Paul Grice laid out exactly how this hidden machinery operates. He called it the cooperative principle. Grice observed that talking to each other only functions at all because both parties operate under a quiet mutual assumption. We tacitly agree to cooperate to make the exchange work. Seeing this code makes it possible to diagnose miscommunications mechanically, identifying specific gaps in the conversation as they occur. Grice built the cooperative principle on 4 maxims that carry the weight of human conversation. First, quantity, providing exactly enough information. Second, quality, being truthful without unstated assumptions. Third, relation, staying directly relevant to the topic. Fourth, manner, communicating clearly and avoiding ambiguity. Every time we open our mouths to speak to another human being, we automatically sign this baseline contract. Let's look back at our office example to see how our brains enforce these rules in real time. When asked if the report is finished, the reply, "I was in meetings all day," technically breaks the maxim of relation. It is an explanation, not a direct yes or no answer. Assuming cooperation, our brains instantly build a mental bridge over that conversational gap called implicature, a rapid inference to explain the violation. The listener decodes the irrelevant answer into its actual meaning. "No, I was busy." But sometimes that bridge collapses when expectations mismatch. The anger and discomfort that follow are just the brain reacting to an unstated rule violation. So how do we fix it? Let's reset that initial tense conversation and run a real-time diagnostic. This time, when the confusing answer lands, the person asking pauses. They suppress the emotional reaction and actively identify the specific broken rule. The answer lacked relation and perhaps quantity. Rather than repeating the question louder, the solution is to ask exactly one direct, clarifying question that names the missing gap. You say, "I understand you had meetings, but does that mean the report is delayed?" There is, however, one critical limit to this framework. It relies entirely on mutual goodwill. If you are dealing with someone who is deliberately evasive, manipulative, or acting in bad faith, identifying the missing maxim will not resolve the situation. Grice's code is designed to fix communication accidents. It is defenseless against an intentional strategy of deception. Choosing to diagnose the mechanical cause of a breakdown rather than reacting to the emotional discomfort it produces changes how professional and personal relationships evolve. Without this skill, relationships often accumulate 2 decades of unresolved, undiagnosed frictions. By 40, those individual instances can leave you unable to explain why certain connections feel persistently strained. The next time a conversation feels hostile or confusing, don't attack the person. Diagnose the missing maxim and fix the machine.